Hi there. My name is Randy Wilson, and I moved to the Philippines in 2001, and I lived there until late 2023, when I returned to the USA. I have been watching videos on YouTube of these different people who have had life-changing experiences about moving to the Philippines and how they did it in their retirement. One old lady was like 61 when she did it. And anyhow, all the videos, without exception, that I have seen on YouTube are people who had money. I'm poor. I don't relate to most of what they say in their videos, because what they think was cheap rent, what they think was a good deal, their retirement visa that they got, where they put $10,000 in the bank to get a retirement visa. I couldn't do any of that stuff. I almost said shit. Poor people don't have the same options that rich people have. So this video is specifically made for people who are thinking about going to the Philippines, who are poor. And by poor, I mean when I first went in 2001, my Social Security was $530 a month. That was my total income that I had to live on, which is why I went to the Philippines, because you can't live on that. My wife split, and that's what I had to live on. And I had to go find a place where you could live on $530 a month back in the year 2001. With all of the cost of living adjustments, now in 2026, the middle of the year, it's July, when I'm making this, my Social Security is finally broke 1,000. I finally get $1,016 a month in Social Security. And so this video is being made for people like me, because none of those videos that I have seen, and I've seen a lot of them because I miss the Philippines terribly. I loved it there. But these people that are posting videos who, they got houses to sell, and they got, IRA, they just got money. And so for people like you and me who don't have money, that's why I'm making this video, because I lived there more than 20 years and I loved it, but I was poor. I didn't fit in with the other expats who all had $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month in monthly pensions and retirements from the Army and whatever. I lived there and I loved it. Now I realize that from 2001 to 2026 now, things have changed. Things always change. Prices always go up. And I'm still in touch with two of my former partners and my old CIA buddy and Mark, 5, and John Crowley, maybe 5, 6 people that are still in the Philippines, who still follow my life, follow my Facebook stuff. And so I'm aware of some of the pricing and how things have gone up. But I still think my experience is going to be very important for you to hear, because I don't think paying $300 or $400 a month rent is fantastically cheap, because I'm not some rich idiot who was paying $3,500 a month in their house payment or their rent payment. And so they see a house rental for $350 in the Philippines, and they go, wow, what a great deal. I never paid more than $100 a month for my rent. And if I was to go back today, I wouldn't pay more than $100. That's about 5,000 pesos. My rent was never over 5,000 pesos a month. Now, I don't have any written thing that I'm going from here, so I haven't thought about the order of things I'm going to tell you, and I'm just winging this, whatever comes to my mind, talking to you. And so we'll talk about rent. I would go, and this is how you do it. If you want to do it and you're a poor person, this is how you do it. You go to a place and you look for rentals that are asking 3,500 to 5,000 pesos. Those are places that these other people, all these other damn videos that you're watching about how wonderful the Philippines is, those people wouldn't dream of renting those kind of places. They're two rooms, a living room, a bedroom, and your living room's a long room. It's got the kitchen in one end. Then you got your CR, your bathroom. No tile on the floor, no air conditioning and stuff like that. Those other people posting those videos, they're not renting houses like that. What I suggest you do, which is what I did that worked out great for me, is you go looking for rentals that are like that, a 2-room rental with a bathroom, and say they're asking 4,000 pesos a month for it. You walk in, you look at the floor, it's nothing but cement. There's no tile on the floor. It doesn't look inviting at all. You're lucky if they recently painted it. They don't do that in the Philippines like they do in America. One guy moves out and they just put it up for rent again, and you get the walls and whatever mess was left from the last tenant. Well, what you do is you get a rental like that. And the most important thing, there's only one thing you need to concern yourself about with a rental, and that is what they say in real estate, location, location, location. You find one of those kind of rentals, it's 4,000 a month, and you find it in the area that is what you want. Now, what I wanted was a good grocery store, because I want things like butter and frozen chicken nuggets, and I want something other than rice, is my point. So I wanted a good SM, which is the big brand over there, SM Mall. I wanted a good SM grocery store very close to me, like walking distance in worst case scenario. I didn't have to walk. And you don't either, even if you're poor. And I'll tell you about that here in a minute if I don't forget that thought. But you get your rental 4 or 5 blocks away from an SM supermarket. And SM supermarket is like moving next door to Walmart. It's got everything you want, no problem. And there's plenty of rentals around that are 3,000 or 4,000 pesos a month. But they kind of look like crap. They might need to be painted. They won't have any tile on the floor. They'll just be a concrete floor. Check the water. Go over to the water valve in the kitchen and open it and make sure the water actually works. Don't go looking for American water pressure. You ain't going to find that. But if the damn water comes out as big as your finger and it's a solid stream, that's all the water you need. That's all you're going to need to take your shower and stuff. And you're not going to take the shower. That's not enough to take the shower off the wall usually, and that's straight cold water anyhow. But it's enough to put a hose in the CR and then use that to put over your head and wash yourself. And it's still just cold water, but in the Philippines that feels good because it's hot. And a lot of times your water lines are laying on the ground out in the sun. So you got to be careful. Sometimes you turn that water on and it's 180 degrees because it's been laying in the sun. You got to let it run a little bit and put your hand in it until it cools off enough that you can use it for your shower. Anyhow, I digress. So what you do is you go to the landlord that you're thinking about renting from, and you say to them, if I rent this for this money that you're asking, say it's 3,500 pesos, how long is that rent good for? Are you going to guarantee me that rent for the rest of my life if I live here? If I want to stay here and I live here 10 years, are you going to guarantee me that rent? And barter with them and find out if they're willing to guarantee the rent for a period of time. You're probably not going to live there more than 5 years. I don't think I lived in any one place more than 5 years. I lived in 7 different islands in a dozen different places, and 5 years was the most I ever stayed in one particular place because it's just too adventurous. It's fun to move around, see another island, and get new scenery and stuff. And you can do this no matter where you live, no matter what island you go to. You listen to what I'm telling you. This is how to get your rent cheap. Most of the time, these apartment owners that you're renting from, they're just interested in having it rented. Some of them will be tickled to death if you say, well, I might live here the rest of my life, and that might be 20 years. Will you guarantee me the rent? And they probably won't say, yeah, for 20 years, but they're going to spit out something. And 5 years at that point sounds like nothing. When you start out with, I'm going to live here the rest of my life, and I might, I'm only 60 years old. I might live here till I'm 80. I might live here 20 years. And they say, well, we might have to raise the rent. Well, how long are you willing to guarantee it? In writing to me. Get yourself 5 years. Most people will give you 3 to 5 years without any argument at all in those crappy little apartments because they just want it rented. And they're happy to have a steady renter who pays on time. And you can make that part of the negotiation that, well, you guarantee me that if I'm never late on my rent, if I always pay my rent by the 5th of every month or whatever you set up, my money always came on the 3rd. So I would always set things up that, well, I can guarantee I'll pay it by the 5th of every month. And that way it won't be late and you can count on it. So you make all of that part of your negotiation. You get it in writing. You get it witnessed by somebody other than their father or mother or cousin or brother or someone who's not going to take your side when the time comes to enforce it. You take it to the barangay captain, for example, and you have him be your witness that they're guaranteeing me my rent. They won't raise my rent no matter what I do to the apartment for 5 years. And part of that negotiation is you get them to promise you that you are free to do anything you want to improve that apartment. In other words, you mentioned, you're not going to raise my rent if I go in there and hire some guy to come in and repaint the whole place for me. You're not going to come back and say, well, now it's not 3,500, it's 4. You get all of that in your agreement that you can fix up their apartment at your expense. You're not going to take it off the rent. You're not going to say, well, if I buy the tile and it costs 6,000 pesos and the rent's only 4,000, I'm going to expect you to give me a month and a half rent free. No. Don't do any of that crap. They need the money. They need a monthly income. And you buying the tiles or you hiring the painter is nothing to you. Even if you're poor. I can say that because I'm poor. And once you get them to agree to that, put it in writing, get the barangay captain to witness that document, and you get the original. You don't get a Xerox copy. You get the original. If they want a copy of it, you can make them a copy. And then you tuck that away, and for heaven's sakes, don't lose it. Now that you've got that apartment and you've got it fixed, that your rent's not going up, it's only 3,500 pesos for the next 5 years, no matter what you do. Now, this is what I did as a poor person. First thing I did was I bought an LG 1 horsepower split aircon and had it installed. You know, it's got the unit outside, and then it's got your thing on the wall up above your bed or whatever. They will install all of that. You can buy all of that. Even as a poor person, you can buy that. I know, because I'm a poor person. It's important that you're comfortable in your apartment. I could run my aircon 24 hours a day, and my entire apartment was cool on the, is it the 1 horse? I don't think they have a half horse. I think their smallest one is a 1 horse. And it's only, it's about, right now, it's about 30,000 pesos to buy it. And my phone is my calculator, so I can't tell you exactly how much that is. But the exchange is 60 to 1. So just take 30,000 in your mind if you're good. I'm not. I got no mind anymore. Divide your 30,000 pesos by 60, and that will tell you how many dollars that is. 3 into 60, 5 times 6. I can't do it. I need my calculator. I could sit up here and use my computer, but you can figure that out. I don't want to make this video longer than it needs to be. I just want to give you the tips that are going to make a difference to you. I would go into that apartment. It might take me 2 months. I might have to save some of my money if I don't have any cushion, don't have any nest egg to work with. But I would install this LG, and you want the LG. Don't buy those other brands. Don't buy all those cheap ones. Just buy a good LG 1 horsepower split aircon. And that's still good advice. I just bought one for a friend of mine that I help support in the Philippines. Used to be, well, I'm technically married to her. Anyhow, so even as poor as I am now, I was able to do that for her. And so I know what it cost in this year, in 2026. Now, if you're looking at this video 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, then, you know, go online and Google Tacloban or some other city in the Philippines and ask for an LG 1 horse, you know, and get the price on it. So that's one thing that you do. Now, everybody, all your neighbors, you're probably in a little strip mall of apartments, or maybe 6 of them all together in your apartment, 4 maybe. You're the only one who's got air conditioning. There might be another apartment who's got a window aircon. Oh, those are expensive to run. You don't ever want to do that. Buy the LG 1 horse split aircon. Okay, second thing to do is you go to a place that's selling the tiles, and you look for those big, thick tiles like they put in the mall that are white. Just a white tile. White ones is always the cheapest one, and it looks great. And, you know, take some measurements before you go. You know, your front room is 8 or 9 feet wide and 20 feet long or whatever, and your bedroom's this and that. You don't want that in the bathroom because it's too slippery. You want to keep the concrete in the bathroom. So, you can give your numbers to the tile guy there, and he can look at the size of your tile, these big 20-something inch, not 20 inches, they're closer to 24. They're like 2 foot square. Anyhow, you buy yourself enough tile for your house. Now, if that's all you can afford, because you're poor that month, then just buy them and let the tile sit there for a month and live in your apartment the way it is with a concrete floor. Next month, you go back to the tile place. If you can ask your neighbors, you can ask all kinds of people, but if you go back to the tile place, they will gladly give you the name of a guy who can install your tiles. They know the installers that are around, and you can talk to them and make sure that you're not getting the American price, that the installer will give you an honest, fair price. And you can ask them, how much per tile should it cost me to get these installed, and with the cement and other stuff they have to use. And you can tell if the tile guy is lying to you or not. If you're not a moron, you just check him on it. Anyhow, get yourself a tile installer. He'll go buy everything that he needs. He'll come to the house. He'll mix up all the cement. He's got his cutter and stuff with him, and he'll lay all that tile in your house for next to nothing. Now you have a 3,500 guaranteed a month, 3,500 pesos a month for the next 5 years, and you have an apartment that's got beautiful, brand new tile floors. Now, you don't need to go call the landlord and ask him, because you already got permission. You got your written document that says you can do any improvements you want. So you've got your painter. He's come in. You got all fresh paint. Now you got your brand new tiles, and your whole house looks beautiful. And on top of that, you got freaking aircon. You got a split aircon. You walk in your place, and it's like walking into the mall, or better. And you got it all guaranteed for $3,500 a month for the next 5 years. Now, those expenses that I just talked about, you can take the aircon with you. That can be uninstalled and go to your next place. The tiles, of course, can't. But you live there for 3 or 4 years with brand new tile floors and all of that, and enjoy your air conditioning and enjoy your low rent. You'll be a very happy, poor camper. And you'll look super rich to all your neighbors who are still living on cement and with nothing but maybe a fan in their house. So that's how you deal with rent and not spending what those damn rich people, they're idiots, spending 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000, 20, 18,000 pesos a month in rent. You don't want that stuff. Your whole income is maybe 30,000 pesos or 40,000 pesos. So you can't afford those kinds of rent, but you can afford what I just told you. And it might take you a month or 2 or 3 to get all of that done on your income. If you're not starting with a nest egg, you don't have $2,000 or $3,000 in the bank. If you've got $2,000 or $3,000 in the bank and you're just there the first time and you're starting out, man, you're in like Flint. You can just make those. Don't let anyone know what you got. Make your deal with your landlord. Get it guaranteed for 3 to 5 years, and then go buy your aircon, which you own. They don't own it. You can take that with you when you go. Put it in your next unit. You just have to call the LG people there that are selling the air conditioner and say, hey, I need an installer. I got this one horse. And they'll give you the installer, and he'll put it in your next place for you. That's a one-time expense. Your tile, you're going to donate that. And the landlord should be thankful and very appreciative that you made that improvement, because now he can charge not $3,500, but maybe $4,500 for his apartment because it's got beautiful tile floors in it. So you shouldn't have any problems with that as far as the landlord. Do your stuff first, get it in writing, get it witnessed by the barangay captain so that the landlord can't come change the deal after he sees you got an aircon and beautiful tile floors, and comes back and says, well, now I want $5,000 a month. The place is nice. So Filipinos, as a rule, are not like that. If you make the deal, get it in writing, and you make yourself clear, that's how you're going to live like a king in the Philippines as a poor man as far as housing goes. Okay, let's move on from housing. What else do you need to know? Oh, how you want to get around. If you've never had, if depending upon your age, maybe I should talk about that first. Why am I here now in America and not in the Philippines? I'm 76 now, and I got diabetes. And I ignored it for over 10 years in the Philippines. I just ignored it and didn't do anything for it. I never went to the doctor, never had anything but amoxicillin. And it got bad and worse and worse and worse. And eventually I was so poor. I guess I should tell you this. I was so poor when I lived in the Philippines. I was living there illegally most of the time because I came on the 21-day visitor visa, and then I just never went back to immigration because they don't come looking for you. Somebody has to turn you in, and that's what happened to me. It took 20 years, 20 whatever it was, 22 years. But I had a friend who actually picked up the damn phone and said, I know an overseer, his name's Randy Wilson, here's his address, and blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, knock, knock, knock on my door. They did come looking for me at that point, wanted to see my passport, and I says, I don't have a passport. Passports are only good for 10 years. And, by the first time they asked for that, I was there 17 or 18 years. I says, mine expired. Anyhow, I eventually got invited by the immigration people to leave. But, and I'm not recommending that anybody does that. I'm just telling you that you can. If you're poor, just my problem was I got a big mouth. I'm a talker. And I would just tell people the freaking truth, that what I just told you, that I came in on a 21-day visa and just never extended it, never went back into an immigration office. And I moved around so much in those 20 years. Like I said, I lived on 7 different islands, Bohol and Cebu and Negros and Panay, in the Philippines, in the Visayas. And then I was up in Luzon in a couple of places. Anyhow, and what's that other one next to, and Leyte, lived in Leyte, and next to Leyte is over the bridge to Samar. So those were the islands that I lived on, all the ones I named, plus those last ones of Leyte, Samar, and Luzon. And so if you move around a lot, even if you got a big mouth and don't shut up, even if I'm not aware that anyone ever came looking for me from immigration until they came and actually knocked on my door in late 2022. I spent 10 months in what they called administrative detention, waiting to be deported. And it was a blast. I loved that place down Manila way. But then again, I'm a poor guy. To me, that was just, the living conditions were better than what do you call it? Mid-Filipino condition. They brought food, set it on the end of my bed 3 times a day. It was like room service for me. Yeah, my mattress was on the floor, but I found an extra one, and so I got 8 inches while everyone else only had 4. But anyhow, that's worst case scenario. You do something like that, you get caught, and they invite you to leave. I was there so long that they added it up, and they gave me a letter saying why I was being deported for overstay, and said I owed them about $3,500 US, as I recall what the money turns out to be. That's another reason that I don't go back. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Age. The reason I'm sitting here now and not still in the Philippines, where right now I could go back. I have a former partner who's got a beautiful house in Mabinay, which is in Negros, up the road from Dumaguete a bit. And I could live there for free, which would make me even richer. But I'm old now. I'm 76. I don't walk so good anymore. And I got all of these. I should turn the camera at my table here. You see this? See that table? All these medications. These are supplements and prescribed medications. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus insulin, 6 plus Ozempic, 7. I take all kinds of medicine now. So anyhow, let me get this back here locked in place. So I'm actually, God is smart. He brought me back. You know, technically they deported me, but it was time for me to come back to the U.S. where I could get all the benefits that I now qualify as an old man for. I get EBT. I get something called a Relia card that gives me $50. I get something called a U card from United Healthcare that gives me like $160 some a month. My EBT is like 144. I'm on dual coverage, both Medicare and Medicaid. I don't pay for any of those medications I showed you. I don't have copay, nothing. I'm a poor guy here. $1,016 a month. I can go to the hospital and the clinic, which is 5 miles, not 5 miles. Whole damn town ain't that big. I live in I live in a town of less than 800 people. I live in Binkelman, Nebraska. We got a hospital here. It's got a clinic connected to it. And I can go out there and do all the appointments. And I'm scheduled for an MRI coming up. I'm getting a shot of steroid stuff in my hips. I don't pay for nothing. Nothing. Because I'm qualified for all this stuff now in the U.S. Now, when I was 51 and put on disability, that's the next thing to talk about, your income and where it comes from. Remind me of that. At 51, when I was put on disability, I didn't qualify for all of the stuff that I have now. I have a brother who thinks I did, but it was different back then. And so it makes a difference how old you are and how well you are. If you're 76 and you can still go out and walk 5 miles a day, by all means, go back to the Philippines. You'll have a good life there. But I can't do that anymore. My back hurts. I'm scheduled for an injection in my back too. If I get up here and go to my kitchen, you can see behind me, and just fix a little bit of food and bring it over here and put it in the microwave. By the time I come back here to my chair and sit down, my back is just killing me. That's no condition to be in the Philippines. The Philippines, you walk a lot. Everything is kind of walkable, and you do walk. And as long as you can walk, then I highly recommend the Philippines. But if you're older like I am, and you're not so stable anymore, there's a chance you're just going to fall down when you're walking. If that's part of your life, don't go to the Philippines. Hell, you walk down the Philippines and on a sidewalk, and they have holes big enough to capture you in, pieces of metal sticking out that you just got to walk around. It's not American safe at all. So if you don't walk good, you're not stable, and you're older like that, needing things like, now you can still get all your medications. You can see a doctor and get your insulin and Ozempic and all that stuff. But you're going to have to pay for it if you're in the Philippines. Here it's all free for me. Everything is free. No copayment, no anything. So I'm now better off than I was in the Philippines when I last left. But I was still walking good when I left in 2023. My diabetes was totally out of control. I was peeing every 5 minutes. I was peeing in my own pants when I was in detention. By the time I could get up off the floor, I had a bed next to me that was built by the guy because he was rich. And I could grab a hold of that, and I'd have to get up from the floor. And half the time, the straining to get up and everything to go pee, I'm already peeing down my leg. I was in bad shape. I needed to be treated for diabetes and everything. And when I got back here in this very apartment, I fell down 4 times in one session. And the fourth time I couldn't get up. I had to call 911. I ended up in the hospital. That's when I met my doctor, Jose Garcia, who started convincing me I needed to treat my diabetes. I think I was over 600 something on the blood sugar thing the day that they took me into the hospital. Anyhow, so there's a little explanation of why I'm not where I'm telling you you can be. As long as your health is decent, as long as you can walk, as long as you're stable, and the whole concept of I may fall down just from walking, if that's not part of your life, then you're good. If it is part of your life, don't go to the Philippines. You're only going to get worse, and you don't want to be there if you're unstable like that. Now, what was that thing I told you to remind me of? Oh, money, your income. When I went in 2001, I just had an MRI in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and they put me on disability. And so I had my Social Security at age 51. It was only $530 a month. I think I mentioned that. But it was more than enough to live on there. It gave me about 30,000 pesos a month. And you can still live on 30,000 pesos a month in the Philippines. But now it's like 60 to 1, the exchange. So if I went back now, my income would be over 60,000 pesos a month, which is why I considered going back and living in my former partner's house with her, because that's a lot of money to have. So you need an income. Whatever your income is, use the numbers that I'm giving you. You can live right now, if your fixed income is $600, $700, $800 a month or more, you'll be okay in the Philippines. As long as you do the kind of things I told you about with the housing. Don't be stupid and go there and look at some big fancy house that's already finished out and got curtains and tile on the floor and its own air conditioning. You'll never afford that kind of living on a low income. But you can find a nice place, nice meeting, location, location, location. You can walk out your front door, and even if you don't have transportation, we'll talk about transportation next. You can get to SM and you can get the kind of food and groceries you want. And if you're healthy, you can just bring it home. You can always if you got too many sacks, you can always hire a tricycle for 20 cents and he'll bring you home. Okay, so let's go to transportation. This is an important one too, that a lot of guys don't know about. You see a lot, there's two, in my personal experience, I bought 5 different Honda Waves, 125s, while over that 20-year period that I lived there. And that's your first choice. If you're healthy, if you're 55 years old and you got any hair left to have wind go in it, a Honda Wave 125 still to this day only costs about $1,000. It might be $1,200. I'd have to Google it and ask Jim and I how much is a Honda Wave right now. But $1,000 to $1,200. Again, if you're just starting and you got a nest egg to work from, that's no sweat for you. If you're living on $800 a month, you might have to save a couple months if you're going to go pay cash for it. I pay cash for everything. I never borrow, never get in debt, never have any kind of payments of any kind other than rent. So that's my first suggestion. If you think you'd like to have a nice motorcycle to ride, the Honda Wave 125, not the 110. Its power is if you weigh as much as I do, I'm like 200 20 pounds or something. So if you got any weight to you, and especially if you're going to have a Filipino girlfriend who's riding on the bike with you, even though she's lightweight, she's only another 100 pounds or less. If you're already pushing 200, that's too much for a Wave 110. You'll feel like, I don't have enough power here. With a 125, you got plenty of power. No problem going up any kind of hill with or without your partner on the back. So that's your first choice. Second choice that is better if you're older. If you're not comfortable, you know how you've probably seen on the videos the constant in and out of traffic with all the motorcycles and stuff. It is dangerous. You can get hurt, even though everybody's just kind of going slow like residential area speed. As you get older, you get a little less stable. I think you get a little less brave. I did. And I went to an electric tricycle. And I'm going to turn this around again to show you my electric tricycle. This is an American electric tricycle. This is an electric brand tricycle. You notice it's got a normal seat on it, but the baskets in the back and the front are very helpful. And it'll go, it'll go 18 to 20 miles an hour, something like that. I don't think it can go 20. I think 18 is about when it tops out. So let me straighten myself up. So you're not going to get that kind of tricycle. That's an American tricycle. Tricycles in the Philippines have a for real, like, car battery in them. And their seat is a big, long, extended seat that maybe starts out 12 inches wide and gets wider as it goes back to maybe 16 inches and then heads to the back. And you can easily put 3 adults on that. You'll see lots of families. You'll see 5 or 6 people on that kind of a tricycle. You'll see 5 or 6 people on a motorcycle. But it's safe on a tricycle, and it's got plenty of room because of that nice seat. And it'll have big baskets in the front and back. And the way to get a good deal on that, this is like the housing deal. You do not walk into a dealership and buy yourself a nice new tricycle like I'm talking about. I wish I had a graphic I could throw up to show you the typical tricycle in the Philippines, but you know what I'm talking about. Big wide seat, big car battery, plenty of power. Really nice. The way to get that is to go to maybe Facebook Marketplace, and they have other, I forget what they have there. You got Shopee there. Anyhow, go to where you can find ads where people are trying to sell stuff, and find somebody who is refurbishing older tricycles. Maybe the seat was all cracked and it needed new plastic and stuff on the seat. Maybe the battery was no good anymore and someone sold it because of that. Maybe the lights didn't work, it needed rework. They have people who will refurbish an old tricycle, and they're sold at 10 cents on the dollar compared to buying a new one. And if you check good and you check with the guy who does it, he's probably going to tell you, yeah, it's got a brand new battery, it's got a brand new seat cover, all the lights and things work on it. Well, hell, why do you care if it's brand new if it's got all that? If it's got good rubber on it? If it doesn't, ask him how much more to put brand new tires all the way around. Have them show you a picture. They usually will show you a picture of the tire tread on each of the 3 tires. And that's how you get your transportation for 10 cents on the dollar. I wish I could remember for sure how much I paid for the last tricycle I bought, but it wasn't very much because I was poor. I can't spend very much. I mean, it was what I kind of expected a new battery to cost. And that's what you got to figure into it. How much would a brand new car battery cost, and how much would new tires cost, or good tires? What would it cost to go to an upholstery shop and have them redo your seat so it doesn't have cotton coming out of it? Anyhow, I'm not going to give you a number because I don't remember, but I guarantee you if you check the refurbished tricycles that are being advertised, you get a hold of a guy who refurbished them. He's got more than one for sale. That's the kind of guy you're looking for. He will bargain with you. He will bring it to you. I didn't have any way to go get it. You don't care if he's in Manila and you're, I don't know what's below Manila now. But if he wants to sell it, he'll bring it to you. So you tell him where you are. You say, if I buy something from you, can you deliver it? And he might give you a number, extra charge to cover his gas, or not his gas, but his time. And if you're farther, then he'll take the bus back. So you just have to be within the range of what the bike will do one way, and he'll deliver it to you. So that's how you get housing and transportation cheap. What else do you need to know that I learned? Everyone lies in the Philippines. In the Philippines, I asked a Filipino girl one time to define what a lie is. And she says, a lie is when you say something and you have how does she say it? Something about if you don't have a good excuse. Telling a lie is when you don't have. Anyhow, their definition of a lie isn't like your lie, my lie, that one is true and one isn't. They're both untrue, but they feel like if they have a good reason, that it's not a lie. That was the essence of what the girl told me. If you have a good reason to lie, then your lie isn't really a lie. It's just whatever. So get used to Filipinos doing this. That means go this way, go that way, go over there. And this, that means yes. You're talking to them and they're saying yes to you. Oh. I know a few Tagalog words. Oh means yes. I don't know if that's Tagalog or some Visayan stuff. I lived so long in the Visayans that I know a little Ilonggo, a little Cebuano, a little Waray from Leyte. So my words are not always Tagalog words. And I never learned the language. If you're good at languages, more power to you. I couldn't read music and I couldn't learn language ever in my life. My brain's just not wired that way. I play piano by ear. I play so good I used to play at the resorts when I first got there. But I can't read music and I can't learn language. If you can, more power to you. It's helpful and they appreciate it. And if you're having to deal with somebody, negotiating with them, if you can speak their language, you got one big foot up on me. Let's see, what else do you need to know? Exchange rate now is about 60 to 1, which is great. That's mostly it. Location. Locate yourself where it's convenient for you to get the things you want. Get things in writing. Get someone like the barangay captain. Barangay captain is we have cities and a mayor. Your barangay captain is like the mayor. they don't have cities, they have little communities that can vary in size, and they're called barangays. And every barangay has a barangay captain. There's an office, the barangay captain's office. You can just go there with your landlord in tow, with your document in tow, and say, I'm just looking for someone to witness this. He's agreeing, and then say it out loud, spell it out. He's agreeing that the rent will not be raised for 5 years. I have permission to fix anything I want at my own expense and not charge him for it. And he's guaranteeing that I can do all of that. And whatever I do, as long as I pay for it, I'm cool. And I just want a witness here, sign on the paper that you saw that and you saw him, and show him your ID so he'll know you're the guy that's my landlord, and I'll show him my ID. And then you got everything. And that will avoid any trouble in the future. He knows you got the original of that. He knows what you agreed to. He's not going to come back when he sees you got split aircon, brand new tiled floors, and a new paint job. You know what? I'll tell you this because it's important that you know you can do stuff like this. In my little strip mall apartment there, where I said I'm number 4 and there's several on either side of me, there's a slab of concrete that is in front of all of our apartments where you can park your motorcycle or set down your bag of groceries or whatever. In front of your own house, you got kind of a concrete porch, except that it's a big running slab in front of all 6 units. Well, I decided that I didn't want my tricycle and stuff sitting outside where anyone could walk up to it and just take a knife out of orneriness and slit my seat, or, do other kinds of vandalism to it, hurt my tires or whatever. And so I went to I don't know if it was, I guess it was the same landlord that I was renting from. And the thing was about, let's see, I made mine. It was about 10 feet of concrete away from my front door, straight out, that went down in front of everybody. And it's also kind of a walkway so that you can go from your house to your neighbor's house. Well, I went to my landlord and I says, I got an idea. I want to do something and see if you'll give me permission to do it. It's not part of our original agreement. I would like to build a little porch, an enclosed porch area out in front of my house with a gate on it, so bad people can't just walk up to my front door and I open it and they stick a gun in my face or whatever. And I don't want to leave certain things out on the porch that someone might steal, other than vandalizing my bike or whatever. I might have a shovel or a hose or power tools, or you're outside. Maybe I want to have an outside kitchen where I can cook over an open fire and stuff. And I says, the thing is 10 feet wide. And I says, I'm thinking about leaving a meter, which is 3 feet, basically. And the rest of it, building just a little half wall of hollow block around, and then putting that little 2x2, I think it is, heavy welded wire all along the top, all the way up, sealed up to the ceiling, and then put a gate in there that I can lock so I can have a porch area to do all this stuff. Now, immediately the guy is thinking, oh, he wants me to go buy him hollow block and cement and hire someone. And so you got to stop him real quick. Say, now I'm talking about, I'll pay for everything. I'll buy all the hollow block, all the cement, all the wire, the man to come and do the work, build the gate. I just want your permission. If I leave a full meter so people can still easily walk by my place, I'm not blocking anybody, if I can enclose that porch. Knock yourself out, he said, as long as you're paying for it, because this is a permanent addition on his unit. When I'm gone, that unit's going to be able to rent for a lot more than the unit on either side of it that doesn't have that nice screened-in, secure front porch. I think it cost me, I want to say 16,000 pesos total. That's labor, hollow block, welded wire, welding, building of the gate, everything. And I even bought more white tiles that I had in my house, and I put the white tiles out there so that when you open the door to the apartment, you walk out, you're still on a really nice floor. I put a concrete, it was only 6 feet wide, and I put a concrete, what do you call it, counter across one end of it, extreme one end. I put the gate so that you could walk in, and to the left was that concrete counter. To the right was storage area for my bike and all my other stuff. That 2x2 wire keeps anyone from reaching in there and getting anything. You can't just put bars. You can't just go like 4 inches wide and put little 1/4-inch bars up there, because they can go get one of, those things that old people have where they have a hand or a hook on the end of them. You reach in an upper cabinet to get something. They can stick that in there and go grab your electric drill or something that you've put on the wall out there and steal it. But the 2x2, and that's an important thing to remember, 2-inch by 2-inch, 2-inch by 2-inch square welded wire is what you want your gate made out of, and all your cage area. So you build up a half wall, maybe 36, 42 inches high, all around the porch in a U shape. Put your door in the middle of it. Put your concrete counter on one end that you can come out there and cook on. You can build a fire on that concrete. It's safe, so you can get a metal thing to put your pot on, and then build a fire underneath it. Or you can put a propane type stove there, and have an outside kitchen that you can cook on. Put your big dish bowl frying pan and fill up with oil, and you're making French fries for the kids. And I did a lot of that charity kind of stuff with the kids. So that's something you can consider doing if your place lends itself to that. If you find an apartment that's 3,000 to 4,000 pesos a month, it's got 10 feet of concrete in front of it. They usually have close to that, 8 to 10 feet anyhow, because everyone's got a motorcycle or a tricycle that they have to park at their apartment, and so you need an outside area. I'm just saying, close that outside area in at your own expense, and wow, look what you got guaranteed for 5 years for 3,500 pesos a month. Smarter than what those damn rich people are doing, buying big worthless houses and all that. So that's an important thing to remember to make your life better. It'll make you safer. Anytime somebody can't just knock on your front door, you got a gate out there with a lock on it that's on the inside that nobody can even get to, and they can holler at the gate, and you can hear them in the house, even if you got aircon, and you can open the door and see who it is. If it's some guy with a gun, just close your door. He can't bother you. He can't get to you. And you don't really have to worry about that. If you live in Manila, you might have to worry about that. But I lived in the province mostly, and so my experience is coming from Negros and Leyte and Panay and Cebu and what's that other one? Whatever the other one is there that I missed. That's the way life is there. So I think this video is long enough to help you. I'm going to give you my contact information because I'm just an old man with nothing but time anymore. You want to email me with a question? I'll be happy to answer your email. My email is 2468 Randy Wilson. Altogether, 2468 Randy Wilson at gmail.com. Email me with any question you got. If you'd like to call me, this phone that I'm using to make the video is area code 308. I'm in Nebraska, in America. Area code 308-737 6635. Easy number. 308-737-6635. And just remember one thing, that your daytime is my nighttime. Now, I'm not going to have a fit if you call me at 2 in the morning. If the phone, a lot of times I plug my phone in at night and I leave it out here in the living room. And so if I'm back in the bedroom and you're calling at 2 in the morning, I'm not going to, even if I wanted to, I don't walk well enough, don't move well enough to get out of bed and make those 20-some steps that it would take to get to the phone before you'd be tired of listening to it ringing or before it cuts off. We have some overlap time. My early morning, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, is your not too bad evening, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So if you really want to call me and an email doesn't do the trick, wait till you go to bed at 10 o'clock or something like that, and then call me, and it'll be like 7 or 8 o'clock in my morning, and more than likely I'll be up. So either way, I'm more than happy. There's all kinds of subjects that I could cover, but I don't want to make this any longer than it needs to be. But I do want to be your resource if you're a poor guy and you're thinking about going to the Philippines and you have questions about, am I going to be able to manage this or that in the Philippines on my income? Man, I'm your resource for that. I'm a deal maker. I'm very creative, as you can tell from the things I told you about. And I know how to have a good life. I had a great life in the Philippines. But my health is gone now. I don't walk so good anymore. That walk from my bedroom to out here, that's the longest walk I make. I get on that tricycle I showed you. It sits right over here. And I live in a little tiny town. Nothing's more than a half a mile away from me here. And so I get around on that bike. And I go out to Dollar General. And as long as I got that cart to hang on to, I can walk around there long enough to get the few things that I need. Some bread and milk and chicken pot pies and a carton of eggs and maybe some frozen French fries or something. And then I'm checking out and I'm loading it into my tricycle baskets. And I'm back home again. But that's the most I can do anymore. And if you're like that, you're not stable, you admit to yourself, yes, I could just fall down by walking. If that's true, it's too late to go to the Philippines and enjoy yourself. You should have gone 20 years ago when you weren't like that. But so other than that, if you got questions, feel free to email me. Financial questions about housing. Like I say, I never paid more than $5,000 a month, and that was $100 or less, depending upon what the exchange rate was at the time. And you can tell from my description, an enclosed outside porch, 6 feet wide, and as wide as the apartment was, I don't know, 20 feet or something like that, total across there. So it was a nice enclosed porch. Great room for storing all kinds of other stuff out there. And you open the door and you got a big long living room with a sink and counter at the far end, some cabinets, that's called your kitchen. And you got room there to put a refrigerator or a little chest freezer. You got your bathroom and you got your bedroom. And if you got your split aircon installed in the bedroom and you leave the door open, you're living in seventh heaven. You don't have any trouble with that. Oh, I don't know how long this damn thing is. I didn't look at the clock when I started this. I'll give you one more tip. If you are from Nebraska, Arkansas, Missouri, I don't know what else is around here, Illinois, Ohio. If you're from any of the Midwest states that have high humidity, that's what the Philippines is like. It's just like moving to Kansas City or St. Joe. If you live somewhere else and you don't want to fly all the way to the Philippines to see if you can stand the weather, because you've heard it's super humid and hot, and it is, no lying about that. But it's exactly like living in St. Joe, Missouri in July or August. June, July, August, I guess, is when it's hot. So if you want to see what it's like, and you don't live there, get in your car, take a little vacation during those hot summer months and drive into Missouri. And if you can deal with that heat and humidity, you'll be okay in the Philippines. If you can't, then you better be listening to me and buying that LG aircon. I don't want to have to, be in that weather all the time. I don't mind going out in it, just to drive my bike over to SM, because when I walk in SM, it's air conditioned again. When I left home, it was air conditioned, and it's only a 5-minute ride, so who cares if it's hot and humid? But if you can't stand that at all, and you're not going to be rich enough to have a car with air conditioning and all that, if you have a car with air conditioning, this video is not for you. You're way too rich for me. So anyhow, I would love to hear. I got nothing but time. I'm sitting in this nice HUD housing apartment. I should tell you that, why I'm here. Besides all my medical free stuff, I'm living in HUD housing. I don't know what that stands for. HUD stands for government subsidized is what it means. I have a nice, I guess I'll let you see. There's my kitchen. The appliances came with it. The nice refrigerator there, nice stove, microwave over here. All that came with it. I have air conditioning here. You see my air conditioner there on the wall? That's my cat tower. That's my computer monitor, 65-inch smart TV. And here's my living room. And then down this hall goes to my bedroom. And I got a nice queen-size bed back there. And you know what and all my utilities are included in this place. Everything except internet. I pay internet separate. But heating, cooling, the power to recharge my bike, and lights, all that, ceiling fans. I got ceiling fans in both of my rooms. Can you see my nice ceiling fan? I don't even have it on. All of it's included in my bill, $287 a month. That's it. That's all I pay. That's why I'm better off now here, because I got all that medical coverage. I got Medicaid. I got Medicare. I got extra help. I don't pay co-pays on my meds. I got Ozempic. I got insulin. I got gabapentin. I got metformin. I got all that stuff, Jardiance, and I don't pay for any of it. And I only pay $287 a month total rent that includes all my utilities. And then I pay my internet bill. I told you I had that U card that's got like $160 some on it every month from United Healthcare U card. I can pay my internet bill with that money. That money, unlike EBT money or whatever, that's only good for food, my U card, I can pay my internet bill with. And so I do. So my internet is totally free. It's $77 a month. Comes out of my U card. The U card then has, like, I think that's where I am right now. I got about $90 on the U card that's only good at Dollar General to buy healthy food with. I can't buy junk out there, but thank goodness they reversed the law. Did you hear about that law where places like Nebraska tried to make a law saying that you couldn't buy Coca-Cola or candy bars or whatever with EBT? Didn't work. Federal judge knocked it down, says, government's already said what food is. You don't have the right to define what food is. So now I can go on Amazon and I order my cases of candy bars and my caffeine-free Diet Coke, and I pay for it all with EBT. So I'm, even with a girlfriend who's got a house that I could simply go there, move in, have 60,000 pesos a month in income. By the time I put internet in her house, buy another TV like this, which would be hard to do where she lives, and gets all set up again, go buy a tricycle again, it's just not worth it. I don't move good enough to be there. And I don't want to be a burden on somebody. That's another part of this. Where I am, in fact, I've got somebody coming in next Monday to do a home assessment because I'm going to be getting some in-home help. A lady who comes by 3 or 4 times a week and cleans house for me and does my laundry and stuff like that. Hey, I got it made here in America now. I didn't when I was 51. I was desperate for a place to live on $530 a month. And the Philippines solved that problem for me, and it did for 20 years. If I can help you out, call me or email me. Be happy to answer other questions. End of video. I'm curious how long that is.